Welcome back to LearnPianoLive.com. My name is Jamin, and as you can tell from the countdown clock, the lesson is about to get started. In case you're new with this, there's a few things I'd like to show you to help you throughout the lesson. These lessons are always guided and shaped by your questions, and if you're live with us today, there's a couple different ways you can do that. One is in the public live chat, and the other is the Ask Jamin a Question button, where you can ask me a question privately, and I won't share your identity in case you're afraid that your question is stupid. But it's not. If you're in the archives, though, then just open up the survey. At the end of that, there's a place where you can ask your question. I will say I frequently get questions from students in the archives watching a lesson from 6 months ago, and I have no idea what they're talking about. So please try to be as specific as possible. If you're watching this at LearnPianoLive.com, there should be a PDF and an MP3 button right next to this video. The PDF will often have additional video links inside, so you can get more in-depth instruction on each of the topics. And if you're the kind of person who likes to print out the PDF so you can make the same notes on your physical version as I'm making during the lesson, now would be the time to do that. The MP3 is just a play-along track so you can practice more after the lesson. In traditional lessons, a teacher is going to actually present some new concept for maybe 5 or 10 minutes every couple weeks. The rest of the time is going to be spent applying and refining those concepts. Well, here I'm spouting off hours of new information every week, so it's totally unreasonable to expect you to actually absorb all of that. Instead, the goal of these live lessons is for you to find some little nugget of something that makes sense, but is a bit of a challenge, and for you to go practice it, because practice is where all the improvement's gonna happen. So don't feel bad if you have to leave the live lesson when you find that little thing that you're gonna practice. And of course, if I'm going too fast, you can always rewind the live lessons or replay in the archives as much as you want. If these live lessons start feeling random or meandering, it's because they are, on purpose. So if you're the kind of person who wants classical training with a step-by-step method, then you're going to want to check out Kloppel Academy on the website. It's included in your live lesson subscription, so you can do both or either. And the upper levels are seriously hard work, but it's going to take you all the way from ground zero, all the way up to being ready to enter any major music college as a piano major in classical or jazz. And finally, it's most people's favorite. This is application, where we take the past concepts from other live lessons and we see how they apply to an actual, real song that already exists. And since there's like 1,000 different ways to play any song, you're just going to work on the version that is appropriate for your level. So that might just mean playing one note at a time for right now. Or maybe you're working on chords or covering the full song. Or maybe you're just seeing how the song breaks down so you can better write and transcribe your own songs in the future. But whatever your level is, the goal is not this song. So even if you don't play the whole entire song, you'll get better by even attempting a little bit of it, and attempt it we shall. Welcome back. We have a lot to get to today. This is the chat moderator, the incomparable Kendra.
Guess what? I just found out I have English homework over the summer for next year because I'm taking an AP class. And I don't know why I'm doing that.
It's not summer then. That stinks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
What does English homework mean?
Well, it's okay because I have to write these like half-page essays, but they can all be about books I've read. So really...
Oh, you're going to do that anyway then.
Yeah.
They're just giving you school credit for what you were already planning on doing.
Exactly. And also essays. But, I don't really mind because...
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Have fun with that.
Thank you.
Sorry. But now you can drive, though. So it was the summer of summer school and driving.
Yes. So it's okay.
All right, we've got a lot to do today. There are a lot of notes going on in here. We need to find our first note for this thing. The first note is a B. Hopefully you already know where a C is if you've done very many songs before. If not, that's all right. It's kind of the most important note on the piano, though, so it's going to be one that you want to start to get familiar with right away. And already I can tell this is not showing up on the MIDI. If you want to, Kendra, throw it to the test screen, we'll fix that MIDI thing so I can show everybody where a B is, because that's going to be important. Okay, there we go. Now I can show you where a B is. So you find any set of 2 black notes like that, and you're just going to take the bottom note and drag it down 1 note. So that one's going to be a C every single time. Any group of 2 black notes, drag the bottom one down, and you're going to land on a C. So that means the one right next to it should be a B, because it just goes in alphabetical order up through G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then it all starts back over again. So that's going to be our first note. We're going to go from a B all the way up to a G sharp. So you can either count up to a G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But then actually this G right here is not a G, it's a G hashtag, which is a G sharp, the note that is slightly higher than a G. So it's going to be that one right there. That's a G sharp, G hashtag, G pound sign, B tick or G tic-tac-toe. That's a G sharp right there. From a B up to a G sharp, and then we're going to play that 3 times in a row. It's really going to help you if you are saying or singing the words along as you go. Your lipstick stains, because a lot of words are going to have like 2 syllables, and while it seems like, oh yeah, I understand syllables, not a problem. I took English over the summer when I was 16. It still is more difficult than you would expect to put all the syllables on the notes. So your lipstick stains. Then we're going to go to an F sharp, then up to a G sharp, then up to an A. Oops, that's an A right there. And then down to a G sharp, and down to an F sharp, and then down to an E. So all of that together is going to be your lipstick stains on the front lobe of my. And then we're pretty much going to repeat that kind of a pattern. I mean, the notes are going to change a little bit, but it's going to kind of stay in that range of the G sharps, the F sharp, jumping up to an A, G sharp, F sharp, E. It's all kind of in that little territory right there. So that's going to get us to left side brains. I knew I wouldn't for that one should be a G sharp right there. I'm not quite sure why that one's missing. Knew I wouldn't forget you, and so I went, and all that is just right in that territory up there. So it's gonna take some practice, especially at the speed of the track, or the speed they do it, which sounds like this. 3, 4. Your lipstick stains on the front lobe of my left side brains. I knew I wouldn't forget you, so I went and... Yeah, so all that stuff happens really quickly. It's going to take a lot of practice to get up to that level. But for those of you who are ready to move on, I gave you all of the notes for the whole thing. I know we usually just do like a portion of the song, just the chorus or just the verse. But for this one, we went ahead and did the whole thing. So if you are just getting a little part of it right here, that's perfectly fine. That could be your assignment right there, is just get the first part of that line, just that very first line. Your lipstick stains on the front lobe of my. If you've never played a song before, that's plenty to work on, especially considering all the sharps that we have and stuff in here and all the jumps. Your lip, all that stuff, tough to do. So I'm going to go ahead and go through the rest of these here. Get, from this note right here, get you. And so I went and watch out for that D sharp. You blow my mind. And then, fortunately, this next thing, you could actually just go back and repeat all of that, all the exact same thing that you did up here. The next section is basically the same exact thing. Some of the words change, the number of syllables, and so the number of times you have to play notes change. But if you just go back and do the exact same thing, it wouldn't sound wrong at all. But I'm going to go ahead and play this next one here the way that it's written, in case you want to do it the right way, even though I hate that term. Your sweet moonbeam, the smell of you in every. That's that whole line right there. Notice those B's down here. These are all lower. It's true that if you're on an A right here, you got a B right next door, but you got to make sure you go the right direction, because if you play those B's up high, it's not going to sound right. A lot of people make that mistake. So then, single dream, I dream. Lots of jumping around here, and the rhythms are crazy. I knew when we collided, you're the one I have decided. I know, it's a lot of notes. That's all right. Just take it a little tiny bit at a time. Was one of my kind. And you'll notice here we didn't put in the word of. In a lot of these tutorials, we leave out words. In fact, we put in more in this one than we usually do because a lot of this stuff falls into the category of melodic generalization. Really, it's time already? We were about to get into melodic generalization. But instead, we're going to do our feature of the day, which is our question of the day. We'll finish that in just a second. Question of the day is, everyone has, if you've been playing piano for very long, everyone has a thing that they like do kind of automatically when they go to the piano. So I want to know from you, what is your song that every time you sit down to a piano, or like if you're in a piano store or a friend's house and they've got a piano, you reach over and you play a little something. What is that for you? Is it Twinkle Twinkle Little Star? Is it Fior Elise? What is your go-to song? Maybe this will be your first song, and forevermore this will be your go-to song. But let me know what your go-to song is. Let's get back to our song after this brief break. So sadly, the lesson preview has come to an end, and it's time to say goodbye to everyone watching the free streams. Of course, paying subscribers at learnpianolive.com can continue watching this lesson and several hundred others like it in the archives. So come on over and check us out. And if you like what you saw, at least like and subscribe, and then tell your friends to head on over to learnpianolive.com to start enjoying this journey with us.